Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart, don't look dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolf Pack, what's going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with your Week 15, the quarterfinals, the fantasy playoffs. We have arrived, ladies and gentlemen, the best time of the year, not because of the holidays, because fantasy stakes are higher than they've ever been. I, of course, am your host, the Wolf of Roto Street, joined, as always, by my co-host, CJ. How we doing today, brother?
All right. Only in the playoffs in one league. Probably going to get my ass kicked. I think it'll be a quick exit for me. but yeah, we're here for the other people. We're here for the little people. So. Indeed we are. Yes, we're here for all you guys out there. Hopefully you had Travis Kelce, like myself, going. In fact, we might as well just dive right in. We have a shitload of news. Travis Kelce obviously making Christmas that much better this week already. Having 36.5 points was incredible. What a monster. Lots of big performances, though, from Tyreek, from Mahomes doing their thing. There's no real big takeaways other than that were monster performances. Eckler also came through for you, even on limited workloads. So let us know if you already had those guys go and where they have you. That's going to be important for the context of your guys' questions as we answer today. And just to preface it, we got a lot of news to cover because of all this whirlwind. Of course, they waited till week 15 for COVID to strike at its strongest. Multiple games moved. Who knows if any will ultimately get postponed, if anyone will test positive between now and then. So just as like a general preface, if it depends on one, we talked about, we haven't had to say this actually all year, but I remember there's quite a few streams where I had to say the word contingency plan about 75 times last year. So as one, and if you have one already, let us know what your league's policy is on COVID. Like, you want to wait for Lockett and you're allowed to put him in, but if he doesn't end up playing because of COVID, are you allowed, or the game gets canceled, whatever it might be? What are these rules that you might have? Because that could change how we answer your questions. As a general rule of thumb, I'm probably going to lean with like who's playing today, who do we know is in? Because yeah, sure, we think all these games will happen on Tuesday, on Monday, but you never know how this is all going to go. It's going to be a crazy week, so we will do our best, but of course, we're not soothsayers. We cannot see which games might actually stay, which players might actually stay. So ultimately, if you have a guy active today and it's like one or two spots within each other, go for the safe one. That's my general theory, at least, CJ. Do you think that's a solid approach to this? This wild last week. I don't know what to fucking do. It's crazy. That's kind of how I'm approaching it myself. Also, we should do a Denny Jennings like contingency plan drinking game where every time
every time the Wolf says contingency plan, chug an entire beer. Yes, that's how we do it here, folks. But get on all those questions. We will cover all the news we can. We're here for your support, your emotional support while you ride this roller coaster, or your sit-start lineup support. And if you want to support us, of course, the free and easy way is that thumbs up button, sharing the link, dropping it into people that can come join the pack, come continue to help us grow. We're 50 people away from our goal of 50 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well, hitting the bell. We're live every Monday through Thursday, Sunday to support you. It would mean the world if you guys could reciprocate that. And then, of course, the super chat to get on top of the line is also a way, or just to support your boys. Send a little holiday cheer. It's always so appreciated. Never expected, but appreciated. We always will get to everything you guys have. But let's just jump right into it. As we mentioned, some games you have to be a little more aware of. Washington football team against the Eagles. That's going to be Tuesday, as is the Seahawks and Rams. That's expected to be Tuesday as well. And then Cleveland versus the Raiders. Is that Monday? Is that right, CJ? Monday at 5?
Yeah, Monday, 5 o'clock.
5 p.m. Eastern time, at least, depending on where you watch. So it's going to be, I mean, like crazy, just like 5 straight days of football or whatever.
Yeah, it's like football in 8 of the next 10 days or something.
Unbelievable. Gotta love that. That's maybe the one like nice thing is random Tuesday games for your quarterfinals on the line on Tuesday of the next week. Just craziness. So it's just unlike anything. And I know it's obviously frustrating, but also just kind of embrace it. You know, it's just chaos. It's fun. We'll hopefully never have another year like this, but we were kind of saying that last year too. So who knows where we'll be next year, but just kind of embrace it, ride the wave, and let's see what happens here in these chaotic playoffs. Those 3 games, though, players in any of those teams definitely become riskier. You never know if there'll be an uptick in cases or more people end up getting ruled out. It seems like it's trending the opposite way where people are starting to rejoin. And we'll be talking about a few of those names today, chiefly Darrell Henderson and Odell Beckham. But ultimately, you never know what way it will go. Again, if you have somebody playing today that is within a spot or two in my rankings, not an entire tier jump, but in a spot or two, it might make sense to lean on the safer option of these games getting potentially canceled. And one of those players in those games that I've gotten a lot of questions on already is Jalen Hurts. He's been practicing at full. It seems like he's definitely likely to go, but it does become riskier because we won't know till Tuesday, one, if they're having a game, and two, if there is a game, is he the guy? Or do they go to Minshew? Because it was like up in the air throughout the week. I do imagine the extra time gives Hurts, as long as this game happens, I think he's going to play. He gets the number one matchup for quarterbacks, most points allowed. I know Washington has been a little bit stiffer on defense, but still, if he's in and you have contingency plans, you're allowed to put this guy in there, then ultimately, yep, there's one. Take a sip. And then two, if not, you might have to, I've gotten a lot of Jalen Hurts, Taysom Hill. And you can wait that one out till tonight. And if there's still no news on Hurts on the game, you might just want to go with the guy that's playing. It's so up in the air. But in a vacuum, I definitely have Hurts. He's in my top 10. Love the play this week. I know he wasn't great the last time out we saw him, but in general, he's been a top 10 quarterback in all but 1 week this year. That is a nice high floor, big ceiling as well. I'm waiting it out for Hurts if I don't have anything close to him. Are you waiting on this situation at all, CJ? What are your thoughts on it?
No,
what do you think?
I'm not. It is kind of sketchy though. I don't know. His running is just so important, and ankle injuries are always really sketchy to me. If I would probably go Taysom over him in that discussion, but
yeah,
I don't know. Even DraftKings or anything, I don't love him. It's a great matchup, but I'd probably stay away from it.
Yeah, well, the thing with DraftKings too is none of that will matter until the Tuesday slate. Anyways, those guys are all on the postponed list. So make sure if you were playing any of these guys in those 3 games we mentioned, get them out now. I was very big into some of those tight ends and streamers in those leagues. Get them out though. No Cooper Kupp, you're one of the highest owned receivers each and every week. He won't be in there for that slate. He's going to be in on Tuesday, but he's not in on the main slate. So I don't want to get people confused there with DraftKings. Let's on that same end for quarterbacks, Taylor Heineke is also on the COVID-19 list. Hope you don't need him anyways. Similar to Baker Mayfield, also was on the list. They might be back for their Monday and Tuesday games respectively, but if you're relying on these two, you're probably not going to be doing so well anyways. So hopefully you don't need them. If you really did, Kyle Allen's the backup to Heineke, who also is on the COVID list, but more likely to play as of right now. He does have some experience in the system. He may be okay if he plays. I'd almost rather go to Nick Mullins for the Browns. I think that's where we're at. But we've seen him have some monster fantasy days too, especially in prime time. So if you're desperate and you're waiting it out for one of these, again, God bless, good luck. But if you're waiting it and they're not going, I think Nick Mullins might be my preferred option of emergency stash appeal. I don't think you have to do that now, especially if your league allows pickups throughout the week. But man, just a gross situation in general. More important though, much more important is Lamar Jackson. He is questionable, unfortunately, at the 4 p.m. slate. The last I saw, CJ, and please let me know if you've seen anything more recent, Rap Sheet said he's unlikely to go. Then Schefter also kind of piggybacked that and said he's been practicing better throughout the weekend, but still very much up in the air and seems to be trending towards unlikely. Have you seen anything different? Any updates since?
Yeah, they switched it from an ankle sprain to a bone bruise, which I've heard that those are terrible. But that's the last I've seen. I'll keep checking though. Yeah,
well, if we hear any new news, you guys hear any new news, obviously hit us up in the chat. We'll try to give you the best information. If you're waiting it out for Lamar, and it probably makes sense. Lamar, he's a stud, even though the last couple of weeks haven't been up to his expectations. That might be a situation where you turn to Tyler Huntley, who did have 270 yards, 45 rushing as well. And DraftKings, not a bad streamer, especially if you need to pivot away from somebody. If you have a late schedule, I'm going Garoppolo in a lot of leagues, but hey, maybe my chalk isn't hitting and I need to go contrarian late swap. Maybe I go to Huntley, something of that nature. Given that I think he's 5,800 on DraftKings, could be a nice play. A low-end quarterback one, in my opinion, if he starts. So I think that's probably how I would play Lamar Jackson, is make sure I have Huntley on my roster or Jimmy Garoppolo, one of those 4 o'clock quarterbacks that you can immediately swap on in. Both those guys widely available, both in great spots today. I'd rather actually, to be honest, probably prefer Garoppolo. If I had to go one or the other, he gets Atlanta today. Smash spot for him. But that's a nice bridge for you to go get to Lamar if you want to wait that one out. But if you have a great 1 o'clock option.
Or my guy, Justin Fields.
Yeah, Monday night, right? Monday. I actually don't hate him this week. That's a really good name to toss out there. Minnesota, like third or fourth most points to quarterbacks. He's been kind of cooking lately on the ground. What is it, like over 70 yards on the ground over his last 5?
Yeah,
something like that?
I think it's 20 fantasy points in like 3 of his last 4 games or something.
Yeah, he's been looking much better. The one risk with that is Bill Lazor will not be calling plays because he has COVID this week. So you never know what's going to happen when they turn back to Matt Nagy. But those are just a couple options to potentially wait it out to let you see if you can get Lamar in there. Because if you can, I mean, that could be a big game. The Packers secondary, even without Jair Alexander, has been top 5 all year. So it's not like a great spot for the guy, but it's still Lamar. You never know if he could run that thing in a couple times. So keep that. Those are some options that will give you a bridge. Last quarterback we're covering is Daniel Jones. He's out. Seems like they're thinking he might be done for the year, trending towards done for the season. Glennon will start, but it's apparently a short leash on that huge neck. So who knows when he'll get yanked out. I'm just picturing like Mike Glennon on a dog leash with like a giraffe neck sticking out of it. And that's quite the visual, folks. But Jake Fromm, either way, they both suck. Philadelphia. No, it's not Philly. Who are the Giants? Cowboys defense.
Cowboys.
Ooh, definitely one of the best streams of the week, up there with Miami, my favorite. Cowboys right there below them, though. Pretty cheap price. DraftKings, I kind of want to pay up for them. The Bills, something of that nature. I like those. What are the Cowboys on DraftKings? At 3,500, I think. I know the Dolphins are 36. Bills are 31. I forget what the Cowboys are. Either way, they're probably they're a strong play against Glennon and Fromm with that D front. They're going to kill them. We'll double check what they are on DraftKings in a little bit. Eli Mitchell is going to be out. Brutal timing because they're getting Atlanta. It also sounds like he might be out for multiple weeks. Shanahan, quote unquote, didn't sound optimistic when talking about his status. So you might be without him for a few weeks, giving us Jeff Wilson week part 4, ladies and gentlemen. I personally, I'm not going in on it. I'm done. And I tweeted this out today I think a lot of people share my pain with Jeff Wilson. I wrote this. If I played him, he's going to get 45 scoreless yards. If I sit him, he's scoring 3 touchdowns. I'm very confident either one's happening. I am sitting in there. So if anybody wants to now take some Jeff Wilson action, he's on my bench. He's probably going to score 3 touchdowns. So you're welcome. I benched him like an idiot. You guys can enjoy the 3 touchdowns, but I can't. He just doesn't look like it's so hard for me to cut bait because he was my hero last year, saved me in some leagues, won some titles, but it just doesn't look like that Jeff Wilson. He was a bruiser. He was zipping through the holes, like big body, but it's still moving. He just looks slow and boring, and he still runs hard, but just like he's in mud now. So I don't like him at all. They're giving Debo so many more backfield snaps now too. I personally am sitting him where I have him. I'm not getting tempted by this glorious matchup against Atlanta. I've bet in too many times. CJ, you've every single time I go in on him, you tell me to bench him. Are you changing your tune this week?
No, I have Mitchell in I have Mitchell in my league in the playoffs, and I cut Wilson because I don't even want him on my team.
Right. Send the locker room
literally
message.
just I'm cutting a starting running back in the NFL just to have like Ronald Jones on my bench.
Yeah, just exactly. Something like that. Speaking of stashes, I do like Ronald Jones' stash just in case. We'll cover Leonard Fournette right now. He's expected to be in, but if you have Fournette, you do want to make sure you have Ronald Jones on the bench just in case he did miss Wednesday and Thursday practices, but got a full one in Friday. Seems like a maintenance thing given this guy. I actually don't know. Is he still leading? At one point, he was leading the NFL in running back receptions. He might still be, which is just insane to me.
Yeah,
all this talk of Gio Bernard being James White. Now it's the 250-pound monster Fournette back there instead. He's been great. He's been unbelievable. One of the best picks alongside a guy like James Conner, who is expected to play as well today, as is Chase Edmonds. So that does kind of limit Conner's appeal somewhat, but I don't think it's too much. I mean, this is Detroit we're talking about. We just saw Javonte and Melvin Gordon combine for 4 touchdowns. There's no reason Conner can't score 3, even with Edmonds back. I'm facing him after I cut him. That seems like a great spot for him to teach me a lesson and bury me. That's what always happens every time I cut somebody. It's such a stupid cut. I was so mad after 2 weeks.
That's a terrible cut.
Terrible cut. But if you don't even the first 2 weeks, though, he had like 30 scoreless yards and 25 scoreless yards. I was like, what a slug. I'm done with this gross, fat, slow guy. Cut him 3 touchdowns the next week. And now he's had 18 touchdowns since then. He just didn't play for me. So you're welcome, Jake McNeil. You're starting him against me. He's probably going to go bananas. Hopefully Kelsey's cushion will help me out there, but we will see. Either way, I think both those guys very viable. I've got a lot of Chase Edmonds questions today, especially in reception leagues. Like Chase Edmonds even more, but I think he's got a spot to find the end zone given how bad this Detroit defense is. I think, 4 total rushing touchdowns between Conner, Edmonds, and Murray. certainly is well within the range of outcomes here. I think all three of them could find pay dirt on the ground. That's how bad the Lions are. So I like getting them both. But they're all in my top 20. I like them getting in there. An even easier matchup. The one team that's worse than Detroit somehow is the Jets. We got the Dolphins there. Gaskin and Ahmed have been activated after seeming sketchy. They might be on the COVID list. I don't believe Malcolm Brown. He didn't get activated this week. Did he, CJ?
I don't believe so. I'll check that right now.
Yeah, maybe double check that for me because that does change things. He is a goal line nuisance. He kind of just randomly starts games.
Yeah, he remains on IR. Miami running backs available are Gaskin, Ahmed, and Duke Johnson.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, you never know how it's going to go with Flores. We can never pretend like Gaskin's the sure thing, but anybody against the Jets getting serious work is typically a sure thing. And you never know. They might just end up giving it to freaking Duke out of nowhere. That could happen. I'd say there's a little more risk to Gaskin than your typical starting running back. One, because he's probably the worst starting running back in the NFL. But two, you never know how Flores is going to use these guys. I still think Gaskin's a solid play. I think I have him at like running back 17, 18. He's still in the majority of my lineups. They're only 5,600 on DraftKings too. So he's definitely in play. A guy that I would have ahead of him, though, where did I put this note? We'll find. Yep. No, that's not the one. We'll get there. Oh, no, here it is. Carlos Hyde is out with a concussion. James Robinson smash week. Now, it doesn't probably matter that Carlos Hyde is out because Urban Meyer is finally fucking gone. And I can't imagine Hyde would be sniffing the field anyways. But it's just nice to know that risk doesn't even exist anymore. James Robinson did practice in full to close out the week, was taken off the injury report. I know he's been a little dinged up, but seems healthier than usual. Darren Bevel, the head coach, did say, Robinson's our starter, and I'm going to treat him as such. It's a smash narrative. I think everybody wants it. Like everybody. The Jags want it. Football fans want it. Fantasy fans want it. I think everybody except Texans want it today. It's going to happen. And that's usually when it's like doesn't happen is when it's so perfect and makes so much sense. That's fantasy football. It won't happen. But I don't know. I feel like Robinson's just a lock and a smash play today. What are your thoughts on him, CJ?
Oh, 100%. I have him in like him to score a touchdown on our prize picks. Props everywhere, DraftKings everywhere. It's just the perfect recipe. The Texans are horrible against the run. They've let up 15 rushing touchdowns or something like that. And
exactly.
He's ready to explode.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And you just mentioned one of our sponsors. Quickly preview them real quick, but we're going to, before we get in there, if you haven't already, download that Prize Picks app. Use code RSJ and sign up. We're going to preview what exactly this app is. But I know you've been playing around with it, CJ. I think it's awesome, right? It's one of my favorite fantasy apps that's come out in a long time.
Oh, it's great. Their lines are awesome. They're I'm seeing some 5 or 10 yards less on basically every receiving or rushing prop. Touchdowns are super cheap. It's awesome.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. So we'll preview it. I know, CJ, you said you won $100 last night on it, right?
Yeah, I just did on the Patriots game, picked 4. And I was kind of a puss. I should have won 200, but you have the option to hit 3 out of 4. So, and
that's the best part of it too. Yeah. We'll preview it later. Yeah. It's such a good app though, because you can do your prop bets. If you're good at them and you miss one, you still get 4 extra money things. It's one of the best apps, if not the best prop betting app that has come out. Certainly this year and probably in the last. I love it. It's great. We'll talk about it later, but Prize Picks is the app. Code RSJ. It's not case sensitive. You can do any 3. That supports your boys, shows that we have a little bit of power in this outreach on our show. So if you haven't already, even if all you got to do is deposit $20, that's going to really help us out. And you'll get up to $100 match. I know we said we're going to preview it later, but I feel like we're just kind of already talking about it. So we'll get back into their news. We got about 30 questions. Keep them coming, Wolfpack. I feel like at this time, we usually have 50 questions. So keep that mailbag ratcheting up. I got all my lineups all set early. Unusual, for me, getting everything ready and primed up. So I could probably go till up to 1250. The one thing I do want to make sure I sign off and update my rankings because I had a back-to-back great weeks, and then last week 3 updates didn't run through that I had talked about live and were great calls on my end, but I didn't end up publishing it right before kickoff. I ended up being right on the bottom of the list. It kills me. I want to make sure I keep getting up that list. So 1250-ish, I'll make sure to sign off and get those rankings ready. We're talking about Miles Sanders and Jordan Howard. Both are in. I don't love either, though, when they're both in there. One, you got the Tuesday night risk of what even happens with this game. Does somebody catch COVID at some point? The Washington football team is better as a run D than a pass D. It's not like they're good, so it's not like you have to avoid it for this matchup. In fact, their D-line is actually pretty decimated with COVID right now. So it could be a good spot. 1 or 2, both of these guys might have a big game. I'll just give you a personal example. I'm benching Sanders for Dawson Knox in my flex. just to fire someone up today that's rolling with Emmanuel Sanders out, even better spot, I'm benching Sanders for that type of play. Do you think I'm nuts, CJ?
You're a Dawson Knox guy, so I mean,
he hasn't disappointed me.
Always gonna run him. Yeah, I know.
He always comes through for me. That's just one of those guys. I don't know what it is. Every time I put him in, he comes through. Myles Sanders is kind of the opposite of that. Every time
I am happy though you're finally giving up on Myles Sanders.
Yeah. The owner bias has finally run its course. Although the last time out, 24 carries, over 100-something yards, looked pretty damn good. I'm not playing him though. That's all it comes down to. Melvin Gordon is questionable but likely. Javonte Williams, same boat, questionable but likely. Both are going to play. It's an UGG situation. It's just like, we wish Javonte could just take over full-time. Either way, though, both are pretty playable. Cincinnati is the 13th in terms of points allowed to running back, so not a scary matchup at all. Both these guys, again, 4 touchdowns against Detroit. I know it leaned, and this is what scares me about Javonte a little bit. Melvin Gordon saw 62% of the carries last time. Javonte saw 38. That's not a split you'd want or expect, and this was after Javonte's blow-up against the Chiefs. So clearly it was just right back to the Melvin Gordon show. Javonte did out-target him, saw all the running back targets that game, but still pretty sketchy. They're just both so talented in this offense. This offensive line is awesome. Like they are a powerful line. I think they're going to have no problem moving this ball on the ground against Cincy. It's probably just going to be one of those nuisances where you watch Gordon score. Damn, I wish it was Javonte. Next drive, Javonte scores, and it's like they're just going to go back and forth. That's kind of how they've been doing it all year. I think both are very playable, both in my top 20 running backs. Tony Pollard, somebody that's not playable in my opinion. They're saying he's going to get a couple dozen snaps. I mean, that's kind of what he would normally get anyways, so it doesn't seem to me that he's going to be limited, but he does have that plantar fasciae. It's an extremely painful injury. We haven't seen him yet since he injured his foot. You don't know how explosive he'll be. That's what the reason you play Pollard is for those 80-yard touchdowns. Who knows if he's going to have that? Sure could make for a monster day because the Giants are horrible. They're probably going to be up big early and have room to run. I just don't – I wouldn't trust Pollard myself. What are your thoughts on that situation?
What are the Cowboys doing with these running backs? As we've talked about 100 times, they had the chance to bench Zeke and let him get healthy. They have a chance now for Pollard to get healthy, and they just keep running these guys up there for no reason.
I know. Last week, and that's kind of the risk here too, is last week we saw Corey Clement out-carry Zeke. So Zeke is also scary too. In that sense, they got up early and they were smart in that sense. They did let's not, put on unnecessary wear on Zeke this week. That could definitely happen this week too. I don't imagine that they would just start pounding Pollard, who needs to recover. So it's a scary situation. Personally, I do still have Zeke in my top 20 running backs. I've got actually a good amount of questions for him, and I get it. But against the Giants, even if Zeke looks like shit, he's got a very, very strong bet to find the end zone, in my opinion. They will move the ball without problem. At least that's how I see it happening. So I'm not benching Zeke where I have him. I've gotten Zeke versus Saquon. I'd rather have Zeke over Saquon. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm starting Zeke, and I kind of have to, but but he could fall in for a touchdown today.
I'm surprised. I'll get Zeke versus AJ Dillon. I get AJ Dillon looks like a better running back right now because he's healthy, but still, he's behind Aaron Jones and mess. Get Zeke. He's going to get in the end zone. He's going to be fine today. We mentioned Fournette's in, so Mark Burkhead, he's going to be questionable. I don't know if there's been any word if you're suiting up today out there, CJ. Are you playing for the Texans? We don't know quite yet if your doppelganger is in or out. The only reason it matters is that is just one mouth that gets a lot of work. And David Johnson and Freeman, if you're desperate at running back, would see some decent volume. Both are very cheap on DraftKings as well. Is there any word on Burkhead, CJ?
Let me see. I haven't seen anything yet.
Let us know if you find anything there. Early in the week, they said he was out, and then he practiced in limited fashion and back-to-back days to close the week, and now he's listed as questionable. So we don't know exactly what that is. If he's in, they're untouchable. If he's out, they're bordering on untouchable. You'd have to be pretty desperate, but both of those guys are out there in a lot of leagues, and if you are desperate, you want to jam someone in for a Sunday game, you could. Any word on that, CJ, or nothing yet?
Nothing yet, I don't think.
Yeah. It's usually right around 11:30, so we're just a couple minutes away from that big wave of inactives. Mark Ingram has been activated from the COVID-19 list. We just saw a career high 27 carries for Alvin Kamara. In a game where they need to win, facing the Bucs, I think this will still be the Kamara show where we get a little bit of Ingram sprinkled in. I would certainly not be playing Ingram, but Kamara, this doesn't really worry me too much. Just a handful of carries here and there. If he steals a touchdown, that would be a pain in the ass. But I think Kamara will be more than fine. Tampa Bay is a tough run D, so like that's the worry here. But they also have given up the third most receptions per game to backs, and that's what Kamara really does best anyways, even with Taysom. It's just all kind of like a weird little mess, but I'm playing – you all should be playing Kamara at this point.
Yeah, of course.
We all know that. You're not benching Kamara. One guy I have got a lot of questions about is Aaron Jones as well. He is going to play, even though he had the illness, the knee. He scored twice last week on 3 catches, and he only had 5 carries as well. Was significantly outworked by A.J. Dillon, yet he scored 2 touchdowns still. That's what Aaron Jones does. He's a touchdown monster. I have a hard time. I'm scarred personally because I benched him once in a fantasy playoff matchup. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. It was a horrible call. Remember Mike Boone week? Oh, my God.
That still goes down as our worst day ever.
Worst night of all time predictions. We'll never get worse than Mike fucking Boone. Raise your hand if you played Mike Boone that night.
I do like our weekly, like, what do you need on Sunday? What was it? It was Monday Night Football, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what do you need Monday night? And like our picture on Instagram is like Mike Boone, and then like there's like a million questions under it. And it was like answer was Mike Boone to everything. And it was just like, wow, we lost like 100 people.
Boone, right. Yeah. Awful call. So personally, I won't ever recommend benching Jones unless you have 3 really, really good options. One tough one I got, CJ, was Aaron Jones versus James Robinson, though. Like what would you do in that situation?
I love J-Rob this week.
I really do too.
I think I would go J-Rob there.
I'm leaning the same way. It's a tough call, but let us know if you have Aaron Jones questions. Again, just being very cautious with the fact that last time he got benched in a playoff matchup by yours truly, he scored 3 touchdowns. So keep that in mind. It was a tough Vikings defense at the time. He was banged up going into the game or some bullshit. And yeah, horrible call. Just don't get too cute this time of the year. We already talked about both Broncos. They're both going to play. DeAndre Swift is out. Maybe Craig Reynolds. There's been no update on Jamal Williams, so it seems to me if he wasn't rolled in yet, he's not going to play today. Craig Reynolds did see the majority of work. Arizona is a little easier on the ground than they are the pass, but they're going to go up so big so early. I don't know that a running back really matters here, but 4,300 Craig Reynolds on DraftKings. Maybe that's something that could get you like 12 points. That's all he would really need, 12 to 15, and he'd pay off 3x, 4x his value. So Craig Reynolds, he looked good too. He's averaging over 7 yards, like just ripping chunk after chunk. Looked great all preseason. Seems like one of those guys that just like steps up, and when he gets the work, he's going to do something with it. So if he gets some work, like the IT guy at school, if you're watching, I know you had like MVS versus Craig Reynolds. I don't know. Well, MVS does get that defense, gives up 20. I think I told him MVS. I probably would still stick with that.
Wait, who?
It was classic at school this year. His name's Brian. He's awesome. He does the tech at our school. And I walked into his room and he's like, "Are you the Wolf?" And he's like, "You did a show with Evan Silva last night." And I was like, "I did." And he's like, "You teach?" I was like, "I am a teacher at your school." So that was like the I've made it moment where somebody random identified the Wolf in public. That was awesome. But so Brian, if you tuned in, you made my day. And it's always fun chatting ball with you at work. But that's kind of like, the blow up versus the safety. Not that there's safety to Craig Reynolds. I'd probably go MVS in that situation. Given that the Raiders have given up the most 20-plus yard passes and the most 40-plus yard passes in the NFL. I don't even know how we got to MVS off of DeAndre Swift being out, but there you have it, folks. Craig Reynolds is at least stash him, especially if you're desperate running back. Like I'd prefer Craig Reynolds over the Texans guys, even if Burke heads out, as like an example there. Kareem Hunt is also now on the reserve COVID list. He wasn't going to be playing anyways, but now he might be looking at an even longer absence. I just wanted to put this on here to recommend everybody pick up D'Ernest Johnson. Still only about 25% rostered, and the upside that we have out there. If something happens to Chubb, D'Ernest would be a league winner. We've already seen it. When he got meaningful work, he's put up over 150 total yards both times he's seen meaningful work. He's a baller. He's a guy that does it when he gets the volume. Just a greater Craig Reynolds at this point, but certainly some upside. The schedule's not horrible down the stretch here, so if something ever did happen to Chubb or if this COVID case, you never know. He's one of those handcuffs that should be on every roster. In fact, he's number 1 out there, like most available handcuff. I dropped Khalil Herbert, one of my other favorite handcuffs, to go pick up D'Ernest Johnson, if that gives you guys any context. And last running back note is Michael Carter's activated, will have a significant role. I'm not trusting him, though. you moaned over there, CJ. Are you playing him or you have to decide on him?
Yeah, I mean, this is the same league that we have talked about Michael Carter, except when he's active for like every single week this year, and we're 0 for 12 on him. So
yeah, he's one of those guys that does not jive with the RSJ. So My recommendation is to sit. What would your recommendation be?
Yeah, I mean, I right now have AJ Dillon locked in RB2, and then my flex would be between Osborne, Parker, or Carter.
I love Parker this week.
Yeah.
I'm huge into Parker. I also do love Osborne too, so I don't know what your receivers look like, but I really like Parker. If it's one of the other there, like it's definitely.
Yeah, I'm
Parker
trying to get the two receivers in, but
yeah, I would see if you can. And so again, like CJay was saying, we've been like 0 for 12 on Carter. The weeks we bench him, he goes off. The weeks we play him, he's meh. So keep that in mind. Similar to Jeff Wilson, potentially, just guys that don't work for us. So we're benching Michael Carter where we have him. I do not like this matchup. I don't like that there's no Mike White, who again 40% of his passes went to the running back. I'm not touching Carter where I have him. I've got a lot of questions on him. He's on the bench for me. Adam Thielen is now potentially a game time decision. This is tough because he is playing on Monday. So you'd have to have your quote unquote contingency plan ready, drink up. And then, but again, like even if he plays, I kind of still like Osborne. It does obviously limit the appeal of Osborne quite a bit, though. The one thing is the Bears have given up the third or fourth most to wide receivers. The Vikings have given up the most. So we could get some back and forth kind of big plays from the wide receiver cores in both of those games. So keep that one. If you can wait it out till Thielen, if you can have a good backup plan, if you have Osborne and Thielen, for example, I'd wait it out. I'd make sure Osborne's in there to wait it out for Thielen. I'm trying to think if there's any other, now that we have like all these other games on Monday and Tuesday, you might be able to get like Donovan Peoples-Jones as a potential fallback option. Washington, there's no one really. Eagles, they're not going to Rager or something. So yeah, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones would probably be like the next best type of backup plan if you can't get Osborne and you want to wait it out for Thielen. DK Metcalf is back at full practices, and assuming this game happens, smash spot in my opinion, although Jalen Ramsey is now back. Tested negative for COVID today, so he will be playing as well. Does make it a tougher matchup, and they, with no Lockett, if Lockett does not play, that might not actually help DK when it's this type of spot where Ramsey can just truly focus on. They could probably still help him out when they, who else is there to defend? Freddie Swain, Gerald Everett, fucking D. Eskridge. Like, come on. So I like
I do like Everett a lot by himself.
Yeah, I actually do too. His old team, smash revenge narrative. I actually think he's one of the better tight end streamers of this week. I really do. I think I have him at 13 or 12. I still probably at this point have DK in my lineup if Lockett's missing the game. If he's playing, it'd be like, again, the guy's had single-digit points for 5 straight weeks. It has not been pretty. So it's tough. With your playoffs on the line, like let us know your DK questions because I've been flipping them all over the place this week. I thought there's no Lockett. I zoomed him up. Now the game's on Tuesday. It's like, shit, now there's added risk. Now Jalen Ramsey's back. It's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I can't give you like a firm, this is my Metcalf take, but if you give me a player versus him, I can probably at least try to give you my best answer. Marquise Brown was questionable. He is expected to play today. Indeed, similar to MBS, he's also questionable but expected to play. And we already talked about the top 20 and 40-yard passes the Baltimore defense has surrendered, and now they also without their best corner in Marlon Humphrey. McLaurin is questionable, but he's practicing in full. He also has those extra days. It seems like he'll be in. Riskier when you got a guy, you don't know what the quarterback situation is, but Kyle Allen, if it's him, is probably an upgrade at this point to what we've seen from crap Taylor Heineke. McLaurin had some big days with him last year. And DJ Moore is questionable, but expected to go as well. I think that is all the notes. Tight ends really quickly. And Manny Sanders listed as doubtful. So it's a boost. One of my favorite streamers of the week. The reason I wanted to make sure to highlight this, you guys knew Manny Sanders wasn't going to be playing, but I do love Gabe Davis, top 35 receiver, 3,700 on DraftKings, 80% of snaps last week, back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. One of my favorite streamers, and you guys already know I love Dawson Knox, so both those guys get more appeal.
So we do have a list. Nothing really that much has changed. James Conner active, Edmonds active, Pollard active, DJ Moore active, Ertz active, and Burkhead active.
But Burkhead is active, so even easier. Avoid that backfield. That was the only one that was kind of still up in the air, it seemed.
And then Emmanuel Sanders is out, Zach Moss out, Ty Johnson out.
I like Ty Johnson, I got to get him out of my rankings. I think it was like running back 50, but still something to note for sure. The one thing with Moss being a healthy scratch, the only time he's been active in the last 4 weeks was that gross, muddy, like disgusting football game. So to me, this signals even if we're killing Carolina, we're going to just bomb. So like I know a lot of people were nervous about how big of favorites the Bills were, but they're one of those teams that just like in terms of like script adjusted neutral, whatever the term is, like pass adjusted scripts. They're in neutral situations or when they're leading, they are still top 5 in the NFL in terms of keeping their pedal to the metal, keeping the air under the ball. So that just gives you a little bit more certainty with Allen that they're not going to try to bleed clock. They're just going to continue to be aggressive as all hell. We should have mentioned at the top 2, Jalen Wilde did not get cleared, right? He's out officially today.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, he was on the COVID reserve list. We didn't, that's been known for the whole week, but we want to make sure that's officially known that he will be out. That's why I have Parker in my top 20 wide receivers this week. What could go wrong? Devonte Parker as a top 20 receiver, but he actually has had a pretty nice floor all year. He hasn't scored less than 9 PPR points, seen 8.5 targets per game, right around 65.5 yards per game. So good, solid averages. 3 of his, over half his games have been at 11. I think he's only been below 11 twice on the year. And you got the Jets, who are the worst at everything in the NFL right now. So I think him and also Mike Gesicki, both absolute smash spots.
Oh, I love him too.
Both far too cheap on DraftKings. $5K for Gesicki, $4,300 for Parker. Albert Wilson also, like desperate situations or like punt play on DraftKings, could also find himself into the end zone as well. That's actually Brian at school was talking about. Do I play Wilson? And at first I laughed. I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But it does actually kind of make sense with Waddle out. He seems like one of those guys you can just kind of flick it to and let him do some damage. So he might actually be somewhat in play. And then some tight end quick notes. Ertz, as you just said, is in Detroit. He's a top 12 guy. I don't love Ertz, but he's my number 12. He's right there as a starter this week. Brevin Jordan, if you're looking for a desperation streamer, has scored in 2 out of 3 weeks at a tight end position. He's 2,800 on DraftKings. Just a name to throw out there. Foster Moreau is good to go versus the Browns. On the other end of that, one of my favorite tight end streams of the week has been David Njoku, but I also now don't know, is Hooper going to get activated? Harrison Bryant could get activated. If Hooper's out, I still like Njoku a lot, but if both of those guys, Hooper's back, and we got them, then you can't trust Njoku, so he becomes a bit riskier. Moreau would be a good guy to stash, as if something does happen and both those guys are activated, he would be a better play than Njoku or really any of those Browns tight ends, in my opinion. Maybe even Hooper. Maybe just I don't hate Hooper if he's the main guy. And last but not least, tight end Higbee is back on the COVID list. Hopefully you weren't relying on him anyways. He's been dog shit. Miscellaneous is that the Saints are without both all-pro tackles Armstead and Ramczyk, in addition to being without Sean Payton. That is why I'm a little bit more nervous about Taysom Hill for Sunday Night Football tonight. Never mind that he gets a Tampa Bay team that specializes in taking out the run, which is what he does best. But they also have given up the 6th most points to QB, so it's like a pass defense that can be had. Unfortunately, Taysom Hill sucks at passing. It's a risky spot. I'm nervous about Taysom.
I don't know. With the two tackles being out could help him. So I can just see him running around like a dickhead.
Yeah, pretty much. Good way to put it. Very deep, insightful analysis here. Running around like a dickhead.
That's what he does.
Yes, but he sure could. And that was the case against the who was the team on Thursday Night Football? The Cowboys. He ran for over 100 yards against him. That's a pretty good run D. He was running for his life all night. So that is technically what could happen there. So yeah, he's my number 11 QB, but I'm a little bit more nervous on him, where he's in like my top 7 the last couple of weeks, a little bit more nervous on them. And the last note that I wanted to add, an important banner here, is that Odell Beckham and Darrell Henderson are both activated off the COVID-19 list. I haven't seen any word yet what the backfield's going to be like, but this just sucks in the sense that like Sony Michel was a lock top 16 guy without Henderson. Now that Henderson's back in, I don't know if I would trust either of them with my title on the line. I've gotten like a Rams running back or Penny. Give me Penny all day, at least as like the main clear lead guy. I really like Penny this week as a top 24 option. I'm not going to touch either back unless I'm really desperate, CJ. What are your thoughts on the Rams backs?
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet yesterday from what's her name, Jordan Rodriguez, or the Rams beat reporter
from The Athletic.
She said something about how it still will be Michelle's backfield. So
really,
yeah, even with Henderson activated.
Did she it's like clear cut? It's Sony.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah, see if you can find that, because it is an important situation. Given the Seahawks are it's only the Jets the worst, Detroit, and then Seahawks right there with the top 3 most points allowed to the running back position. So it is a generous team, but ultimately, it's If it's going to be a timeshare and you don't know who it's going to be, then it's tricky. If we know we can pencil in Sony for like 15 touches, he'd still be a fringe top 20 guy for me. So yeah, definitely something we'll check in on. Meanwhile, Odell Beckham, certainly playable to me. I scored in, I think, 3 straight now. They're making a point of him to get them the ball, especially in the red zone. He's so dangerous. That quick release separation, nobody can run with him right now. So I think he could have himself a nice day too. I still like Van Jefferson as well. Just Stafford, everybody kind of gets a boost up. Stafford does, and then Van and Odell, I still can trust in my lineups. Did you see anything? Did you find the tweet, CJ?
Yeah, well, I think it was Josh Norris that like he took a screenshot of it, so it's hard to find. One sec. Oh wait, here it goes. Someone asked her, with Henderson back, do you think Sony Michel continues to lead the backfield in touches? And she goes, he should. We'll see. McVay wants to use both Hendo a little bit more in the passing game, but he should kind of.
There you go. So as long as it stays a positive script, I'd say Sony's. I still would probably avoid the backs if I could. Like I've gotten like Deonta Foreman versus Sony, So I would probably go with Foreman. Like I know he's not as exciting, but you're going to get your 15 to 20 touches type of situation.
I think you need to add Henderson to your rankings too.
Yeah, I did last night. I just haven't published it. So
okay.
I'm going to hit publish right now just to make sure I get at least one run of rankings. And CJ, do you want to quickly preview prize picks and some of your favorite picks this week while I get these rankings updated?
Yeah. So, we partnered with Prize Picks. It's a player prop app where you can pick up to 5 players. You can 10x your money. And if you use the promo code RSJ, you get up to $100 first deposit bonus. And so, let me see. So my first 4 picks, I just listed our first 4 picks on our website, and I'm rolling with James Robinson over 0.5 touchdowns. We covered him a lot earlier. And then Gabriel Davis over 38.5 receiving yards. That number is actually, I've seen sports books that have that at like 47. So we're getting about 9 yards off of there. MVS over 34.5 receiving yards. He's exceeded that number in 4 of the last 5 games.
Ooh.
And the Ravens also have been, I think they've led up the most 20-yard receptions in the league this year.
Yeah, 20 and 40. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So.
And then Mike Gesicki over 4 receptions. I think with Waddle out, that opens up, I think, 9 or 10 targets a game. So I like him. He's exceeded that in 8 of his last 11 games. How
many receptions was it?
4.
Oh, he's going to smash. I wish I put that one in mine. That might be the best of all of them. And I loved all those ones. My 5 prize picks this week. Let me pull up the app real quick. And while I pull it up, like we were both talked on multiple occasions of how clean it is, how simple it is to use. Like it's just beautiful. It's such a fun, simple. I'm not usually a prop betting person, and they make it so easy. And as you said, the lines are better. So my 5 today that I have are, I like to go on the touchdowns because I know you can get better odds like on prize picks. And typically it's about minus 160 for some of the favorites that often score. It's just whether they score or not on prize picks. So I picked Deebo Samuel, Cordarrelle Patterson, and James Robinson to all score touchdowns. And then I love their lines on quarterback rushing. They're so cheap. Kyler Murray, 26.5 yards against Detroit. You might get that on one play, rushing yards. And then Trevor Lawrence, 10.5 yards against Houston. The most rushing yards allowed in the league, 10.5 yards. The guy's got some athleticism, a couple QB. They do run that zone read quite often. I think we could see a multiple 5 to 10 yard runs from Trevor Lawrence. So I'm smashing those in addition to some touchdown scores, guys. But again,
and like what you were saying before when we were talking, like if you're betting like James Robinson on a regular sports book, then for him to score a touchdown, it'd probably be like minus 120, and you're getting it at even or plus odds on this.
Even plus odds, exactly. So it's a good way to prop bet, but still. And the one thing, and you mentioned this too, you won $100 last night, and you still got one wrong. That's what's kind of nice about these two is you can pick. I always do the 5 because I'm a psycho and I want to go for the 10x. You pick 5 right, you get 10x your money. You can still get 3x your money if you only get 4 right. And then if you get only 3 right, you still make your money back. So it's very like simple, nice, clean. You don't get one wrong and suddenly you lose it out, even though you had the good insight on 4 others. If you're playing, DFS and fantasy, you can just kind of apply that knowledge of your matchups of what you know. It seems like you said, you won $100 back-to-back nights. Like it's great. It's a very winnable, actionable just a fun, awesome game. I wish we had started this partnership to begin the year because I couldn't speak more highly of them. And we're hoping to keep working with them down the road.
Oh, and even it's more than just player props too. You can do a fantasy spin. So like yesterday, I had Hunter Henry over 6 fantasy points.
Yes, even better, right? Yeah, you just have to find the end zone for that, right? Exactly. And that's a kind of nice one too, because it's like almost like a touchdown bet. But even if he didn't, he could still pay off 6 fantasy points. Like that's a great way to bake both in there. So yeah, it's just a great app. It's a great app, and it helps your boys out too. It shows that RSJ has some great loyal fans. If you guys want to support us, $20 deposit. We get a nice little bonus from that, and it's so appreciated too. So some of you guys that ask you, how can I support you guys? Well, $20, have some fun on a great app, win some money with it, and it helps your boys a ton. So that would be it. We'll maybe pump them one more time before we get to the end of the show. But again, I couldn't recommend the product. We don't do sponsors on here because we just don't. There haven't been really apps that we really truly loved. This is the first one we truly loved, and that's why we're doing it. So Prize Picks, code RSJ, up to $100 match deposit bonus. If you deposit up to 20 or more, we get a nice little bonus too, and it's so appreciated if you consider doing that. And it's just a great app, so please enjoy it. And let us know who your favorite picks are. We'll start with a super chat right from the top.
We have one from Michelson too at 11:27.
Perfect. So we'll hit those two at the top. As we get to your questions, Wolfpack, Prize Picks, one way to support us, but also a simple thumbs up. Click that button. It takes a second to do. It helps us get out to more people. It's so greatly appreciated if you consider doing that, sharing us out. And as you're seeing right now, the super chat function, another way to just directly support us. So appreciated. We'll jump to your questions first. Make sure we give you the best possible take we can. Awesome. Let's get it going, Wolfpack. Week 15, baby. Woo!
All right, Lawrence Franklin. What's up, Wolf? Who you got between Julio, Bateman, or Monroe St. Brown for my receiver 3 half PPR?
Lawrence, so start with that question. Then we got the flex too. This is good. This is a good question right here, Lawrence. I kind of like Bateman. He got it done with Huntley last week. If it almost seems like Huntley might be better for him because he doesn't lock on like Lamar often did to Marquise Brown. It seems like Bateman, as he should be, was the preferred guy because this guy's an alpha. He did it all. He saw 10 targets, 7 catches, over 100 yards, 20% target share. Like Bateman was finally used like an alpha. And when he's used that way, he performed. Shocker. I love Bateman. I think he's such a great talent. I only hate cut him a couple weeks ago because he just wasn't getting used. Of course I cut him, right? And that's another reason why he's probably going to be good because I hate cut him, and now he's going to probably blow up against me. So I don't really feel strongly about Julio at all. I wouldn't want to play him, especially with Joe Hayden back. That's only that much sketchier. I don't hate, though, Amon-Ra St. Brown, given he's seen 12 targets in back-to-back weeks. Definitely a viable streamer. I personally lean Bateman of these guys. What are your thoughts, CJ?
Yeah, I'd go Bateman here. And then actually for his second question is for the flex, he's going to add Reynolds, Foreman, or Scott Howard or the other receivers. So would you go Amon-Ra over Foreman, I would say?
Yeah, so it comes down to that, exactly what you just said, Foreman versus Amon-Ra. And I'd probably go Foreman. Seen 14 points back-to-back days, like steady, nice diet of carries. And by the way, the Steelers are averaging over 5 yards per carry on the season. Over their last 3 weeks, it's almost like 6 or 7 yards, given what we just saw Dalvin Cook. Now, I know Foreman is not Dalvin Cook, but even dating back the last couple of weeks, running backs have been going wild against the Steelers. So I have no problem getting Foreman in there. I think it's a great matchup if the game stays competitive. I mean, Foreman had like 15 touches last week and then didn't even get the ball in the fourth quarter because they were up by so much. They kind of gave him that like preferred starters treatment and started to ride McNichols a little bit at the end there when they were up by 2 scores. So I think Foreman, especially if the game gets competitive, could see up to 20-plus touches in a good matchup. I love him the most of all these options. And then I go Bateman at the wide receiver 3 position. Any difference in opinion there?
Nope, I'm following you there.
Lockstep, baby. So, Lawrence, thanks so much for supporting the site. We greatly appreciate it. Happy holidays, indeed. And Steve doesn't even have a question.
Nope, just wants to bitch about Stevenson's dud.
Fucking sucks, man. And I guess I was on the more conservative side, ranking him at running back 18, but even then it was like, get him in there, get some sure points. It's one of those things where, like, if we had just scored earlier, you never know how this game could have flipped, right?
That game was just a mess. We could talk about it.
It couldn't have gone worse for him. Like, that was the absolute worst game for the Pats, worst game for Stevenson. Just a disgusting – the fact that we were still in the game down by the end of it, like, we didn't deserve that at all. The penalties, the special teams errors, like, it was just – it reminds you also how spoiled – I guess the one, like, good thing to come of this is how it reminds us that, like, we don't have to deal with that on a week-to-week basis. So many fan bases are just constantly dealing with this turmoil. And we like one mistake full night, and we're just like, fuck this. This is the worst football I've ever seen. Like, it is the worst football you've ever seen. That's kind of a blessing in disguise, right? So I'm with you, though, Steve. Awful rage. I actually thankfully didn't have Stevenson in any league, so I'm not going to be burned by this personally. But I would have been expecting a big night. I think a lot of people messaging in, this sucks. What do I do now? So if you have some questions now, Steve, if you're in a hole because of that dud, let us know, because now we're going to have to start chasing for some upside. And that's kind of a good messaging tip for everybody. If you're in a hole, you need some help, let us know. All righty. And a huge super chat. Again, BK, back-to-back weeks with the legendary super chat. Thank you so much for your support, brother. It's good to know you're back. So that means you probably survived, which is awesome. Let's get it for you again. I remember that one. It was Abdullah versus who was it? Yeah, and I think Abdullah, who I went with,
I think they were. I thought they were both.
4.5 versus like 3.2. It's horrible. But let's see what we got today, BK. Thank you so much for your generous back-to-back weeks. What a legend. I like that the chat is kind of commenting in, because that's what I would say, guys. Help out somebody that's so willing to support the site like that. Please let your opinion know, chat, what you think for BK. But thanks again, man. So generous back-to-back weeks. You're a legend, BK. Let's get to it for you.
All right, he's back and he's desperate once again. He needs to start one of these full PPR. Hasty, Jamar Jefferson, Devonte Booker, Jordan Howard, Abdullah, or Royce Freeman.
Damn, BK, we're in a bad spot yet again. So no Craig Reynolds, I'm guessing, which sucks because I'd put him at the top of this list. So I'm guessing he's already taken. Man, I kind of like just going for the touchdown with Jordan Howard against a decimated football team front. The only other one I would consider, because it's full PPR, would be Royce Freeman. But now that Burkhead's activated, right now it's a three-headed nightmare. Last week you did see Freeman. I think he had like 6-7 catches and 8 targets, something crazy. Just like, what the fuck's happening? Why is he getting that many targets? Oh, he's on the Texans, and they're just the dumpster of an NFL franchise right now. So full PPR, if he was guaranteed that work, I would say Royce is in a good spot. But with David Johnson was not there last week. It was just him and Burkhead, and he became the main pass-catching guy. I think that role could go to David Johnson, which makes it a lot more sketchy for me. So to me, the best bet to score here is far and away Jordan Howard. And that's who I would go with. Do you have any difference of opinion, CJ?
No, that was my first thought right when I read it. I mean, it's a disgusting, absolutely disgusting and desperate. But I'll go Howard with you.
I mean, all these other guys are backups, not guaranteed to even touch the field. So
you're not into Abdullah again this week?
Abdullah? No, not going back to that guy. It could be Abdullah week, though. He did play more snaps, saw all of the running back targets. So there is that upside to Abdullah. Against the Bills, probably the right script for him. But, I mean, it was funny because I remember at the end of that game, Abdullah got into the red zone. And he got a carry. I've never rooted for Amir Abdullah so hard. Like, get the fuck in, Abdullah, go. And it's like, but he just looked like an awful player when he got the carry, just stuffed, didn't make any moves. And I was like, yeah, this isn't good. But I looked at Tasty afterwards. I'm like, all right, so it was somehow better than that. It says, it looks like, the chat's agreeing with you, probably Howard, not great options. Close your eyes and wish. It's exactly what it is at this point. I would do the absolute same. We're going Howard. The pack is chimed in. Let us know if anybody else feels differently there. So here we go, guys. Let us now get on back to the top here. And again, guys, free, easy way to support the site is just hitting that thumbs up button. Let's get out to more people. If you want to support with a sweet super chat like that, or BK, next time, put that super chat to Prize Picks and make some prop bets, because I know you're a prop betting genius too. I don't know if it should be legal where you're at. If you're in California, there's a handful of states it doesn't work in, but give it a try. $20 plus deposit. It will kick back and help your boys out a ton. And ultimately, it's just the best app out there. PrizePicks.com, code RSJ, of course, to help activate your boys. Use that. It'll help us out. You'll see it on the bottom line if you guys want that again. Prize Picks. It's in the app form, site form, all that good stuff. CJ, I have to get my charger to plug in before my computer dies. So why don't you kick us off and I will be right back.
Yep. So Droid was here about 40 minutes before it. Love it. So he's asking him a bit early. Well, maybe a lot a bit early. Should I start Sony at the flex or Parker today? As we kind of talked about with the Rams situation, I'd go Parker here. I'm going to guess that's what Wilson to go with too. I mean, if Henderson was out, obviously Sony would be a smash, but with Henderson in, that's going to be a sketchy backfield. I'd go Parker here.
No, you're good. You're good. No. You're good. Sony or Parker? I'm going to go Parker. I heard your answer, CJ, and I think you analyze it to perfection, right? Like, it's a sketchy situation, even if Sony is the mean guy, as we talked about. I love the early comment here, Droid. I hope you're here watching with us. He comes all the time, so good to see you 8:40 a.m. getting your question in before the practice here. Smart play. But yeah, I go Parker there. I'm nervous about Sony. I'm nervous about that backfield, and I just really like Parker this week. Top 20 wide receiver for me, so I'm feeling him this week.
I'm just picturing Droid like waiting in line like 5 hours before a show. He's like camping out the night before.
Like sitting there. It's like the equivalent of like waiting for tickets, like a month before they're released in a tent out there. I love it, Droid. Thanks for being here bright and early, man. We appreciate your support.
Aiden Dalmanian, morning gents need to pick 2 of the 3.5 PPR, Javonte, Melvin, or Edmonds, leaning towards doubling down on the Broncos running backs. Thanks and good luck.
That would have worked out real well for you last week, right? With those two both going for 4 touchdowns. Cincinnati isn't an unexploitable matchup, 13th most points allowed. I still really like Edmonds, though. He's probably the riskiest, given it's his first game back. But I love him. He's got Detroit. Like, they do want to take a little bit of the load off immediately from James Conner after he got rolled up at the end of the game, was questionable to play today, did get cleared ultimately. But still, I really like Edmonds today. So I have Edmonds. Let me see here. I'm bumping him up where I have him. I have him at 25, and that's not right. Oh, this is tough because I do have like Javonte 18, Melvin 22. Do I put in Edmonds ahead of one of them? Maybe Melvin, but like Melvin's the sure bet for work. It's tough. I don't know. I probably go with Edmonds and Javonte. What do you think?
That was my first guess. It's tough picking the 2 running backs like that. I don't know. You just can't start the same running backs on the same team.
Great. Well, I will say this is one of the backfields you could do that. It's one of the few backfields similar to the Packers. Like you could get away with it. And certainly last week when the matchup is ripe like Detroit, it can work. It's not quite as ripe. And certainly if Cincy, like the game flow, ends up getting negative for them, that's why I think Javonte's a little more matchup proof. He sees more targets. He's been the predominantly receiving back. So should this game get out of hand early and since he comes out to a couple bombs to Jamar or whatever it might be, Javonte will still have a clearer role. At least that's how it's been operating so far. So I go Javonte, and if I wanted to bench one, it would be Gordon for Edmonds. And I kind of want to do it because I really like that matchup against Detroit. Very exploitable for Edmonds. But the safest bet could probably be just going those 2. I personally go Javonte and Edmonds, though.
Jeff Lee, hey guys, I'm on a bye this week, tied for first. I'm sure the points still count. Pick one, Taysom Hill or Burrow.
Yeah, I love it. Just still setting the lineup, coming in to say hello. Jeff, you're a legend. I go Burrow at this point, just a little safer in my opinion. Where do you draw the line for Taysom Hill?
I think I like Taysom a lot this week. I'm gonna go Taysom here. He should just bench all of his players and let him get rested up and get ready for next week.
Yes, exactly. But I do like the idea of rolling into your next matchup with some momentum, just carrying the steam forward, Jeff Lee. So I hope it happens.
And then he wants to pick a one for running back: Hilliard, Herbert, Johnson, or Buren.
I would go. Pretty gross. I'd probably go D'Ernest here. I think he'll kind of have the best matchup. The Raiders going to have a ton of points. They're going to need to lean on the run game. So I'm going D'Ernest.
And then pick one between Godwin or Chase.
Godwin. I love Chase, but like Godwin, I love Godwin that much more. He had a season high point against the Saints last time. They are just really bad against the slot receivers. So give me Godwin there.
Red X, need one Njoku or Freiermuth?
I'm going Freiermuth, especially with the concern around Njoku now. But anyways, I would have gone Freiermuth. Just a touchdown machine. So I'm going him.
Andreas, hey, how's it going? Needed help with 2 flex spots, half-point PPR. Ayuk, Bateman, Javonte, Miles Sanders, Mike Carter, Jeff Wilson. Penny?
I love all the pre-11 a.m. comments I'm seeing on here, too. Wolfpack starting to get their seat in line early. I love it. Good to see. But good to see you, Andres. All the legends coming out today. So 2 guys here. I'm leaning Javonte and Ayuk. The fact that you do have Debo, though, can change it a little bit in the sense that, like, I do like Penny a lot this week. he has the feel of like one of those every season late blow up candidates. To me, he seems like he could be really that guy this year. But I also understand your Debo and Ayuk are getting Atlanta. Both of them could go off. I personally here go Javonte and Ayuk. What do you think, CJ?
I'm going Ayuk and Penny just for those reasons that you said.
Okay. So yeah, you play Penny over Javonte, huh?
I would, yes.
Oof. All righty. So let us know who you decide, Andres. I guess the only one we're in agreement is Ayuk. But man, good options. Those three at least were kind of in the same boat. Those are your top three options.
Gary W, big day, round one of the playoffs.
Huge day, Gary W. Great to see you. Welcome on in. Let's get those dubs, baby.
William G. Adonis in a Final Four matchup and need the safest play, half PPR. Start Parker, Penny, Sanders, Mike Carter, Jeff Wilson, or AJ Green at the flex.
I limit this one down to Parker and Penny. And if it's about safety, I honestly think Parker has the higher floor. And I know that seems weird because you think of him as a boom bust guy, but really all year he's had a steady stream, as we talked about earlier. You probably were here, Will, for that. So I won't go all in on that. Penny, definitely the ceiling play. You saw 150 and 2 touchdowns last week or whatever the total yardage was. But how many times have we seen Penny grab his hamstring and he's out the first fucking drive? Like that gives me the shakes. I'm nervous about that. So as much upside as he has to be a league winner down the stretch, we can't forget the amount of times this guy has just abandoned us in the past too. So I go Parker as my favorite play. You agree?
I'm
you
feeling
like Penny a lot.
I'm sticking with Penny here.
Oh man, we're looking at safety. That's not where I'm going. But hey, good luck.
Frazier McDonald came up against Kelsey this week and need help, so he needs a boom here.
You do need some help, man.
Start 2 of Montgomery, J-Rob, Javonte, and Michelle. Full workload, no Urban. He wants to go all in on J-Rob. I agree there.
Yeah, if you're looking for blow up too, right? Like that could be here, go have 30 carries and have a day. Let's go show how wrong Urban was type of game. And we already have the comments from the coach. So J-Rob is up there and definitely up there. I like Montgomery too. I mean, I love Javonte. It can't be Michelle with Hendy back, in my opinion. All three of Montgomery, J-Rob, and Javonte all have big game upside, huge game upside, right?
Yeah, I'm going the first two.
The first two, yeah. That's where I lean to. Montgomery, 84% of the snaps. Minnesota, bottom 6 in terms of points allowed to the position. And we're seeing the target share going up for Montgomery. So I go Montgomery. I go J-Rob. It's very close between J-Rob and Javonte, but I think Javonte also has the most downside of those three as well, given that he's the lowest workload upside. But yeah, that's where I lean. It sounds like we're in lockstep. Best of luck in Scotland over there, Frazier. We hope you take it down.
Say Jennings hungover.
Good morning, Wolf and CJay hungover edition. Shocker, Denny Jennings is hungover. Shocker. I am too. No, let's continue the good times rolling, baby. Fantasy playoffs. Get that hair of the dog going, and let's fire it on up, Denny Jennings.
Campanelli, playoffs are here, baby. Wolf and CJay, let's feast.
Let's feast indeed, my man. Good to see you.
Any half PPR,
Gaskin, I think that is.
Gaskin or Mike Carter?
I'm going Gas man, baby. I don't feel good about Carter. Gaskin's got the better matchup. I'm just going to ride that one out, especially with Malcolm Brown ruled out.
Yep. Campanelli, full PPR, pick 2 and a flex. Aaron Jones, Cordell Patterson, J-Rob, Penny, Gaskin, Pollard. I'm going the first 3.
I'm definitely locking in Cordarrelle. Yep. I would agree. Yep. All those first 3. Definitely. I'm in lockstep there. I liked I heard Gaskin late. I was like, ooh. But no, first 3, David, let's lock those guys in.
Sarah Riley, half PPR. Need one of these. Parker, Penny, Freeman, Brown, Gage.
We've already had one very similar to this, and I went Parker, you went Penny. You still feeling that, even with the early injury risk of Penny?
Yeah. I'm going all in on him.
I know. The only other one I'd enter this, well, I mean, they're all worthwhile options. Freeman is, I tweeted this out this morning, 6th in running back touches over the last month. He's just been the featured back on a team that's good at running the ball. Marquise Brown, obviously all year has been great, but the last 3 weeks has definitely took a big hit. And Gage, I mean, nice full PPR upside, but once you get to half range, just not a great touchdown score. Against San Fran, sure could, but I'm going to go, I limited this one down to Parker and Penny. Freeman does have a decent floor, but I like Parker a lot this week. I really think he's going to have a good day. You're sticking with Penny, though?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. We're crossed. over the 12 o'clock line. So again, guys, please consider giving us that thumbs up. Only 20 likes on Facebook. I know we've got more of you guys tuned in there. Of course, YouTube beefing up those numbers would be so greatly appreciated. Wolfpack, we'll continue on. And Prize Picks, just want to keep tossing that out there. Prize Picks code RSJ, baby. Really supports you boys.
Jeremiah Moore, Albert Wilson, or Scary Terry. Down big. My opponent had Kelsey and Keenan.
He's got to go Kelsey. You know, who knows what the hell Albert Wilson's going to do? Like, especially if you need upside. Terry. Yeah, Terry. You need upside. You got to go Terry. We've seen many 30-point weeks from the guy Albert Wilson. I mean, that's a prayer that you don't need to take.
Sad Jay Cutler, half PPR. Wilson, Craig Reynolds, Amon Ra.
I've seen that name. It's been a while since we've seen Sad Jay Cutler pop up here. Welcome back, sir. I kind of like St. Brown here with 12 targets in back-to-back weeks just because I've been burned by Wilson. Wilson's like the head play, Atlanta, you know, should get an early lead, should pound the rock, but he just does not look good to me. So I'm going to go St. Brown here. Do you think I'm nuts?
No, I'm going him too.
All righty, there we go. Sad Jay Cutler. No Swift, no Hawkinson. Wheels up again.
Day Jennings, Gallup, or Devonta, wide receiver 2, half PPR.
Oh, man, I fucking hate Devonta these last few weeks. He's just been horrendous. Both are in good spots. I think getting his boy back, Devonta, getting Hurts back, I think that's going to help. I'll go Devonta here, but it's not convincingly. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Dak's been pretty awful too. I'm going to be safe and go with Devonta.
My gut's just like screaming the other way for you, Denny Jennings, though. Like, you know this Eagle situation. What's going on with Devonta? Why is he so shitty? I kind of feel like Gallup's getting the end zone. He's been making some nice plays.
Yeah, he's been.
You know what? My gut's just saying Gallup. I don't know why. I hate. You know, we've seen 20-point days from Devonta, but lately it's been awful. So I'm going Gallup here.
Campanelli. My beard is looking amazing. Thank you, sir.
That thing is coming in, man. I like it. Looking bigger and bigger by the week. No, you can't shave it till the end of the season. I want to see this thing real out there.
That's true. Campanelli, full PPR, Pitts or Conklin?
I gotta go Pitts there. Like, it's bad. It's not great, but you might as well go for Pitts, who's been seeing a lot of work. The volume's been there. The end zone hasn't. But Conklin, no, thank you. We're going Pitts.
Giuseppe, my boys, let's go up by 50 going into today. Pick 2, a running back and a flex. Half PPR, Gibson, Sanders, Dillon, Van Jefferson. I kind of like Gibson at the running back. McKissick seems very unlikely to play. And I know Gibson was a little bit of a bust last week, but Eagles more generous than the Cowboys. Script should be better too. So I go Gibson, especially if, backup quarterback, they're just going to feed him, in my opinion. So I like him the most. And then I lean... It comes down to Dillon or Van for me. I'm not playing the Sanders game this week, especially when you need safety. I kind of like Van, though. I mean, he's just been getting it done week in and week out. Dillon, he will get some carries, but Jones is getting the touchdowns. It's a little ugly. So I like Van here. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, I'm an A.J. Dillon guy, so I'm going to be – I think I consider him more safe. I do love Van Jefferson. He's, like, incredible right now. But, yeah, I'm going Gibson and Dillon. We're going to be safe. Take the 12 points from Dillon and move on. Yeah, perfect. Benelli, standard flex, Penny or DeGarnist? Penny. Yeah, you got to go Penny there, no doubt. Giuseppe, Ertz, Fant, or Freiermuth? I'm going Freiermuth there. I love the Fry. Every week's a great touchdown bet, and Tennessee's pass defense is not great. They're better against tight ends than receivers, but he's kind of secured that role. They dial him up at least a couple times in the red zone a game. So you can't get much better than that at the tight end position. Do you feel any differently with Ertz at Detroit? I kind of like Ertz. Yeah, I think I'd go Ertz there with Hopkins out. His target should increase. I'm going Ertz there. We've seen some big games from Ertz too this year. So especially with Hopkins out, as you say, the Detroit matchup, certainly not bad. I can see that. I still lean Fry, though. I've just been all in on the Muth throughout the year, and I don't see the reason to change that now. So I'm going Fry. So Jennings woke up Friday morning, turned on my phone to 51.3 points from Kelsey and Allen. Nothing better than that, right? Oh my God, Kelsey, that touchdown, doing high knees around the house is the best. Waking up families. Joel Ouellette. Morning, gentlemen. Still on with Connor today, or do I start Edmonds?
I'm still going Connor, the better touchdown bet, the guy that's been just week in and week out getting it done. I think Edmonds certainly has some nice juice, but it seems like an unnecessary risk if you have them both. Why not go the guys getting it done? That's how I feel. Do you feel any differently?
No, I'm rolling with you there.
There we go.
Apex, good morning. Need to choose between 2 running backs and a flex. Jones, Connor, Gibson, Higgins, Ayuk, Devonta Freeman. Full PPR.
I like 2 in a flex. I like Connor. I like Gibson. And it comes down to T versus Jones. I'll probably go Aaron Jones, though. It's a hard time benching him in the playoffs here. So I'll just go the first 3 there. But T is creeping in there. So is Ayuk against Atlanta. It's a solid matchup, too. But I'm going Gibson, Connor, Jones. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't bench any of those guys. Higgins, as you said, is right there. But and Freeman. No, I'm sticking with the 3.
There we go.
Hunter Henry, great
Henry
game.
got it done. He sure did.
Campanelli last year, we promised to get the counter for the word contingency plan in the lower corner for this year.
Yeah, ding, ding. Yeah, we've had like 4 or 5 so far. Keep the count for us, David.
Andre Stoglin, Rodgers or Allen?
I got to go. Oh, man. That's quarterback 3 and 4. Great problem to have. I prefer Allen if I have the option of them both, but I love them both there. What do you think, CJ?
Yeah, he was QB1 last week. I'm going Allen.
He was. Rodgers was QB2. He had 4 touchdowns and 370 himself, and now he gets a defense that is easy to bomb. And Rodgers still has probably one of the best, at least, deep balls in the game. So I think he's going to have a field day. That's tough, but I do go Allen. You got the rushing upside too. Carolina's quitting right now. Give me Allen there. That's tough though. Great quarterback carousel there, Andre.
Kate Tregear, full PPR, Ertz and Njoku.
Especially now with the risk surrounding the other guys coming back on Monday, and no Hopkins. Ertz is locked in. I had Ertz 1 higher anyways, but now I'm bumping down Njoku, I think, below Everett. I got to take Higbee out of the rankings. I just remembered to do that. So, yeah, Ertz just playing today. Is it a good spot? Good bet for volume against a bad defense. I would go for that.
Campanelli can't drink today. Danny Jennings, COVID hit him and his wife this week.
Sorry, man. Cheers up. I hope you have a speedy recovery over there, David, you and your wife. Best out to you guys. It seems like it's getting scary out there, starting to ratchet up a little bit.
I did hear a lot of hard booze could help you though. Never know.
Yeah, you might exactly. If you can't taste it, you might as well just put it all down. It goes down easier. If there's one silver lining. No, we don't mean to make light of your situation, David. Cheers up to his wheels up to a speedy recovery, and hopefully you get a fantasy win to ease the pain at least a little bit.
Alex Fortin, half-point PPR. Mike Carter, Penny, Parker, OBJ.
I go Penny. Only one of them. We've had this one a bunch. I'm still going Parker, though. I really think Parker's wheels up. CJ, you sticking to Penny here? Or does OBJ change anything for you?
No, I'm sticking with Penny here.
All righty. So that's going to be the split this week is Penny versus Parker. The one we've been in pretty much lockstep all day, but Parker versus Penny has definitely got us in a little bit of a blender. I like Parker a lot this week, though, Alex. Seems a little safer to me.
We have a paid one at the bottom.
Oh, there we go. So playoffs bust. Indeed it is. Love to see you're fired up. Soup chat here. Thanks so much for being here, as always, Bus. But let's find our boy, Benny T. Usually on Facebook, but coming from us on YouTube with a super chat. So appreciated, Benny. Thanks for the support.
He's asking Osborne, Jeff Wilson, or Reynolds, full PPR, also Hurts or Hill, or different streaming options such as Tua.
I go Osborne of the streamers. Obviously, that will lose some appeal tomorrow if Thielen plays, but, I think that's the dice we got to roll. I'm not into Wilson, but as I said in my tweet, Benny, if I play him, he's going to get 45 scoreless yards. If I bench him, he's going to score 3 times. I am benching him. So if you want to use that as your barometer, there's upside. He's facing Atlanta. He should score. He's just looked like shit. So I don't want that in my lineup. Osborne's one called upon, looked great. And if I'm going with my gut, I feel like Osborne, I feel like Thielen sits and Osborne has a great day against a defense that can get beat. And is Reynolds Josh Reynolds? Is it Craig Reynolds? Either way, I don't think it matters. But I'm going Osborne there. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely Osborne. I can't do the Jeff Wilson thing again, as we've talked about.
And it's PPR too. You get some receiving bonus. Like Wilson doesn't get any of the receiving work. That goes to Debo. Yeah. Hurts or Hill. If it's one or the other, I said Hurts, better matchup, all of that. The D line is just decimated for Washington. They're hurt. They already were a bad pass defense. Now the defense is destroyed with COVID. I like Hurts to have a big day against Washington, but you lean Hill?
Yeah, I do. I don't trust Hurts with his ankle injury, especially when he gets most of his points running the ball. I'm going Hill there.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm nervous about the lack of tackles, even though, as we said, it could lead to more scrambles, could lead to some more yardage on the ground. But the mallet finger, that you beat them by throwing, and he's looked like a terrible passer. Honestly, Tua is probably the safest of all these guys. Like, if you just want a sure 18 to 20, Tua will get you that. But I'd have a hard time benching the upside of Hurts in one of the best matchups like you could ask for, even though they've been a little better. Now they're decimated with more injuries in the COVID situation. I'm going Hurts, Benny T. That's where we lean. The only thing that makes me upset about your question is this was a perfect opportunity to compliment CJay.
Oh, I've seen a few. We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, well, just making sure those are in there too. But thank you so much for the support, Benny. And other ways to support us, Freeway is that thumbs up button. And we left off with Bus's enthusiasm, which I always love to see. Enthusiasm is another way to support us for free. Love all the upside like that. Let's go, Shades. What do we got for you?
Lamar, Hill, or Burrow, and then Wilson or Rondale Moore standard.
I think the good thing with this one is, correct me if I'm wrong, the Bengals play the late slate, right, tonight? They're like the 4 o'clock slate?
Yes, 4 o'clock.
It's in Denver, I think.
So 4:05, I think.
You'll know. I think I'm just going to roll Burrow kind of either way. Burrow versus Hill is really close for me, though. I'm just a little sketched out that there's no Sean Payton. They might not know what to do. He's the mastermind, and he's been the reason that Hill gets these open lanes, and I don't know what will happen without him out there. So I'm a little bit nervous about Hill without his tackles, without his play caller. I feel like Burrow's in a pretty good spot against Denver, even though it's a bad, not a great matchup. Burrow's just been slinging it lately. So I lean Burrow. I'd have a hard time trusting Lamar unless we see something pregame Shades that's like he's full go. In warmups, he looked amazing, like running around with your typical speed. It's a big if we get a report like that. So I'm going to go Burrow here. What do you think of Burrow versus Taysom?
Yeah, I think I'll go Burrow here. Hill's probably right behind him, maybe like one spot behind him for me.
11 and 12 for me. Yeah, that's exactly where I have him. Tough call, but yeah, I think Burrow's just safer. I don't know. That's how I feel. Let us know, Shades, what you decide.
Zay Jennings.
I didn't mean to skip this one. Wilson or Russell Moore. I guess at that point, or Rondale Moore rather. I would go Wilson at this point, especially in standard where you're just hoping for a touchdown. Rondale, could he have a big day? Sure, but he still hasn't been a big part of the offense. It'll be intriguing to see what he does without Hopkins, but I don't want to trust him in my lineup. I'd rather stash and see myself.
Yep. Campanelli, get well fast. I'll have a beer for you and your wife. I'm a little hungover, but beer is good for hangovers. That's very good.
It sure is. So I love the pack coming to each other's side, having beers for one another. We'll make sure to put one back for you too, David. Gave me a good reason to drink today, so thank you. And I hope you feel better, though. Again, most important thing is speedy recovery for you and your wife. Get well fast, guys.
Matt Stevens, good morning, gentlemen. Full PPR, need one. Foreman, Cooks, Jeff Wilson.
I really like Cooks today. I think we talked about big James Robinson day, big Jags day in general. And if they need to throw, Davis Mills got 300 yards in, I think, like 3 of his last 6 starts. He can bomb it, and he bombs it to nobody more than Brandon Cooks, who's averaged 30% or higher target share across his stats. It's beautiful. So I really like Brandon Cooks today. I like Foreman a lot as a play as well, but I'm big into Brandon Cooks, especially full PPR with that volume. Do you feel any differently?
No, I agree with you there. It's wild. The Jags, I think, are up to 5-point favorites. Vegas is really overreact. They're overreacting a bit much with this Urban Meyer.
Yeah, no, I think what I think is gonna happen is we hit the over. That's where I want to attack that game. It was at like 39, I think, earlier in the week. I like Davis Mills, like in terms of just putting up points and keeping a game competitive. I could see this game like being listed at 39 and hitting like 50. Cue like 8-7 or something like horrendous score. But that's where I would say this game goes more than anything. I think 5 points, though. I'd rather have Houston with 5. Like, I don't know. I'm no sports better, but there we go. Ward Willis, thank you so much for the support, man. Great to see you here on a Sunday. It was just in right around your neck of the woods. Had some great pizza. Went to bar. Delicious. How you doing, Ward?
Ward Willis, pick one. Ayuk, Van Jefferson, Claypool, Moore, Osborne, full PPR.
I would go. This is tough. I kind of like Ayuk the most of these guys. Don't you, CJ? Against Atlanta? They're all good options. They're all in that same tier. But I like Ayuk
Yeah,
myself.
it's between him and Van Jefferson for me. Yeah, I'll go with Ayuk, especially with Mitchell out. Debo will be in the backfield a bunch, so Ayuk will be the man on the perimeter. I'll go with Ayuk.
Yeah, it's the tricky part is Claypool gets Tennessee, who gives up the most points to receivers. Van has been hot. Stafford loves going deep to him at least once a game. But Ayuk actually gets helped out, as you were saying, Debo going to the backfield more with no Eli Mitchell. That's opened up. Ayuk saw 11 targets last week against Atlanta, especially if Atlanta keeps it competitive and this game has to go back and forth at all. You got some it's the second highest total on like the main slate today. There's some definite shootout potential to that game. And if that happens, I think Ayuk's in a great spot. So I like Ayuk. He's my wide receiver 21 on the week. I have Claypool 23, DJ Moore a little bit lower than them. Van 29. I'm going to bump Van up just a little bit because I do still like him. Odell being back though. If there was no Odell, I had Van at like 23, I think, with no Odell. But now that Odell's back, it does get a little riskier. We like Ayuk here. Let us know who you go, Ward Willis. But hopefully you have a great weekend. Best of luck. I'm just going to go to Droid real quick. I know we're going out of order, but it's right below. He's the first question we got for the day. So the early bird, I'll give you the worm. What do we got for you, Droid?
He messed up and started Stevenson at running back, Sony or Mike Carter for his second running back.
Oh, I wouldn't call it a mess up. I mean, yeah, it sucks. The results weren't good, but last time we had no Damian Harris, he went for 102 touchdowns, over 30 fantasy points. Colts are a good run D, but the Pats, the way they had been rolling and the way that defense especially had been rolling, I can't say I'd go anyone other than Ramondre over this crew, right? So I would have told you to go that way. You didn't mess up. Don't be too hard on yourself. That being said, now you need some upside, right? Because he didn't do much. I kind of want Sony for like 2 touchdowns here. I just, Seahawks defense is that bad. They've given up. They're only better than Detroit and the Jets, the 2 worst. So like that's a good matchup. And Sony's been really rolling lately. So I'm going to go Sony. I don't trust Carter first game back. Tough defense. He probably has the more upside in the sense of like if it's full PPR and you got yourself like, he might get 15 to 20 touches, but I like Sony myself. That's just where my gut's going, CJ. Do you feel any differently? You there, CJ?
Yeah, I'll roll with you there.
Okay.
We need to speed it up a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do. 12:25. All righty.
We need to speed it up a little bit.
Yeah. All righty. Where do we leave off?
We are at...
We do need to speed it up. Holy shit. All right, so guaranteed answers, super chat if you want to get to the top of the list, but we will do our best to get to you guys all. We just answered that one. PPR 10 mean, I don't remember what the question was. Let's continue on.
Midnight, Ertz, Frymuth, standard. He's the
we had this one earlier. We were both split. I said Muth. You went Ertz, but especially in standard, I really like the touchdown upside of Muth.
Campanelli agrees. Beers are the best way to detox. I agree.
There you go. Detox to retox. Yeah.
Daniel Holland, pick 1. Osborne, Gage, Samonra.
I like Osborne the most. It's followed. Gage has been really half PPR. Gage has been solid. I like Osborne though, especially assuming that Thielen sits. What about you?
Yeah, I'm rolling Osborne myself there.
There we go. Hurts will play. Yep. Hurts, Burrow, or Fields. I like Hurts there. Do you like Hurts or Burrow more? Or Fields? You can go your boy.
I'm going Burrow. I'm down on Hurts this week.
All right, we'll see what happens. I'm still high on Hurts.
Jameis, he's buys across the board like always.
These weeks off are boring. I fucking love you, Seamus. Just rubbing it in the face of your league mates. Just killing it. Fontaine says go Ertz. So answer to them. Here we go. 3 out of 3 playoffs. That's what I like. After a rough start, too.
The playoffs.
Nothing better than like getting obviously it's nice to have that team that kills it right from the start and you're dominating, but something about those battle-tested teams, they seem to always win it when you kind of piece things together. They start to cook at the right time. Let's go, Wes.
Evan Buss, Henderson or Chase Edmonds, full PPR?
I'm going to go Chase there. I feel more secure in his workload. We don't know what Hendy's status will be. I like the matchup of Chase. I'll go him. Hurts in the lineup. You have Russ. Yeah, you even have a backup plan there. Even better, Denny Jennings. Even better.
I'm sick, currently hiding in the bathroom of Yard House in the hopes no one notices. All I want for Christmas is CJ to share his skincare routine with the Wolf Pack. It's absolutely radiating sector.
Ben, you outdo yourself by the week, man. Are you like Tuesday night, like sitting down, like, what do we do this week? And like coming up with these? Because they're so fucking good every time. Ben, you better be there next weekend too. We haven't even promoted that yet. Like Old Planners live show, all you guys out there in Mass or somewhat neighboring towns and you want to make it up, hang out with the boys, have a beer for your fantasy playoffs. Great beers at Old Planners Brewery in Beverly. Will be live, usual time, 11 a.m. They're going to even open up first early, CJ. And they usually don't open up till noon, but they're letting us in early. They're letting you in early. They said, let's get the beers flowing, baby. Love that response from good old Ben from Old Planners. Great stuff. Come on down next week, day after Christmas. If you're around Wolfpack, we're going to have a great time. Come see your boys. Come have a beer. It'll be awesome.
Danny Jennings, Green Bay or Jags?
I like Green Bay, especially with Huntley now. I like Green Bay. There's a better defense. I don't want to trust a Jags defense, no matter the fired up narrative. No thanks.
Marcos Valdez-Scantling, let's get it, boys. Miami or Green Bay, D?
I'd go Miami there for sure.
Ben Tomsick, also in honor of the Jake Paul fight last night. I'd like to offer myself as a tribute for the Wolfpack and fight well-documented TB12 hater Dan Heggs at Old Planners.
Speaking of Old Planners, we now have a battle. Dan Heggs versus Benny Tomsick, firing up the gloves, live entertainment, red zone, Bills, Pats, all that good stuff. And we got live boxing here now. Love it, Ben. Suit him on up. Let's get Danny Heggs there. Get him the gloves on. We'll see what happens. Fins, definitely Danny Heggs. I agree.
Anthony DiLorenzo got a huge dilemma this week. Need 2 out of Ayuk, Connor, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon.
Going Connor is my favorite here. I'd probably go Aaron Jones. I talked about my nightmare, the way I'm scarred, benching him, and he went off for 3 touchdowns. So I'd probably go Connor and Jones. If it wasn't Jones, it'd be Ayuk, though. What do you think, CJ?
No, I'm right with you. I'm following you. Kurt, crazy lineup issues. Starting J. Rodney, another running back in a flex. Mike Carter, Montgomery, Reynolds, Gibson, Foreman, Parker. Montgomery and Gibson for me.
Yep, I'm going Montgomery, Gibson above both of them. I love Parker this week too, but I have both those running backs ahead of him.
Kurt facing Taylor and Fournette and some other killers. Yeah. Was so happy when Taylor had only 10 points until that fucking run last
We were texted as what a gut punch of a fantasy play. Just that, like game's essentially over and then bam, that awful.
Denny changing his question from before, sit one between Fournette, Gassman, or Carter?
Still Carter for me. Playing the other two, no doubt.
Roth, Kane, Edmonds, and Michelle will likely make or break me this week.
No better options. Well, good luck, man. Michelle gets you a little bit more nervous than Edmonds if it was one or the other. But yeah, both could blow up. It's not like impossible. I'll give you your hopes are dependent on them. Let's put it like a 30% chance they both blow up. But the matchups are right. Both of them top 3 matchups. So you could have it happen.
Campanelli, full PPR, tight end pick 1, Pitts, Conklin, Njoku.
I would go. I'd go probably Pitts here. I would go Pitts, Campanelli, yeah.
Broderick, Jeff Wilson, or Mooney in the flex standard.
I'm going Mooney. I really like most points allowed to the wide receiver position. The Vikings. So yeah, give me that. Go for the deep ball threat. No Robinson this week either.
Sad Jay Cutler, half PPR pick 1, Amon Ra, Craig Reynolds, Jeff Wilson, Lazard, Bateman.
I'm gonna go. We only got 1 here. I kind of like Bateman for all the reasons we talked about. I mean, Lazard could get deep. He's been having great games. Mm-hmm. St. Brown, 12 targets in back-to-back weeks. But I just feel good about Bateman, especially if Huntley's playing, coming off a good game. He's burned me in the past. But again, I've hate cut him since. And usually the guys I hate cut do their best work in the fantasy playoffs. So I like Bateman. What do you think of this whole list, though? There's a lot of interesting options.
I think I like Amon Ra. I mean, I like Lazard a lot too, but I also like MVS. So I think I'm going to go Amon Ra, St. Brown there.
All righty. Let us know who you pick, Jake.
I can't trust Bateman. I mean, it's not like any of these are locks, but I can't trust Bateman right now.
Yeah. I'm hoping just for last week, Huntley loved him. That's what I'm hoping for, but we will see.
Mike Duke, Cooks, A.J. Dillon, Foreman, Henderson in the flex.
If we're only picking 1, I like Brandon Cooks the most. I really think he's going to have a big day against the Jags today. Love him at 5,800 on DraftKings too.
Hillary from the bedroom. Look at those bearded bros, Knox or Gasecki or both.
I go both. I mean, it depends on who the other option is, but both of them are in my top 6 tight ends. I'm actually firing them both up in DraftKings, 500, 5K, and 51K. or 5.1K, not 51K. Be an expensive Dawson Knox. But no, I like them both a lot. And I know you do full PPR. I think both have pretty good receiving upside today.
Tunes is projected to lose by 12. Need a receiver 3 and a flex. Van Jefferson, Ayuk, Javonte, Dylan, Sony, Penny, Carter.
I don't want Carter here, so you don't have to drop anybody.
I'm
going
Javonte
and either Ayuk or Penny myself. I like Javonte and Ayuk, I think. What do you think?
It's a lot to choose from. I'll roll with you.
It is a lot. Penny's the only other guy in consideration. You've been high on him all day, so like it's kind of like, do you want Penny or Ayuk? Who would you go there?
I'll go Ayuk, I think.
Oh, we're losing you a little bit, CJ. I might do a quick. Yeah. Oh, now you're back. Now we got you. There we are. All righty.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. We can hear you, but you're kind of just like fuzzy.
Tunes, Conklin, Njoku, Everett, Moreau.
I go. Man, horrible options. I would go probably Everett here. I like Everett. I know we both talked about him earlier.
Mike Duke, pick 2, half PPR, J-Rob, Barkley, Penny, Foreman.
I'm going to go J-Rob, and I actually have Penny ahead of Barkley, so I'm going to go J-Rob, Penny. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going J-Rob, Penny.
Jax. I'm just updating one quick thing on unlikely. What was the big news today? Lamar Jackson's probably not playing. Oh, yeah. And then Henderson and Odell activated. That was the big change I made to my rankings. Sorry, folks. I just want to make sure to get this up. Trey S., why don't you get your question on in here?
Wolf and Truth, and Kelsey, Russell, Burrow, or Taysom?
Wolf and Truth. How insulting. You guys don't even look alike. You went against Kelsey. That's tough. So you need upside. I would hope that I would probably go for I wouldn't go Burrow because he's going to be like the least likely to shoot out against Broncos. You might hope for Russell Wilson to go nuts, but without Lockett, I don't like that. So I'm going to go Taysom here if you need upside. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Joe Owlett, how are we feeling for the flex? Higgins or AJ Green?
I go T. Higgins there. Yeah, I go T. Higgins, no doubt about it. He's been a beast these last couple of weeks. No reason to bench him. Ride that hot wave.
Matt Cruson, Mike Carter, or wait on the Rams game. He has both running backs.
That's pretty gross. I'd probably go for Sony there. I don't like Carter at all though. I'm always lower on Carter, and I'm always wrong. And then when I put him high, he always sucks. So do with that what you will. What would you do? Would you do Carter, or would you wait for one of these Rams guys?
I think I want to. I feel like maybe Sony. I mean, I do like Mike Carter. I'll go Sony. I think.
Yeah, I'm leaning Sony too. We're in agreement there. All righty. Let's move on to Kurt here.
I'm nervous of Carter too, but with Davis and Moore, I'm thinking Carter's about to be the number 1 receiver.
It's a good point. I mean, it's definitely fair to consider. He could get peppered. It just hasn't been Zach Wilson's thing, but there is some upside there, Kurt. I get it. I do get that.
Ooh, Jeremiah, I'm having a baby wolf pack. If my wife's water doesn't break sometime today, she'll be induced tomorrow night. By Tuesday football games, I'll have a baby boy in my arms. That's lovely.
Teddy. Jeremiah, not Daddy. Jeremiah, the legend's going to have a baby boy. Congratulations, man. Have you picked out a name yet? You going to reveal it to the pack or wait till Tuesday to let us know? Awesome stuff, Jeremiah.
Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf, exactly. Baby Wolf. Name him for me. That's so incredible, Jeremiah. Man, congratulations. And your cheers up to you and a healthy birth and everything, man. Best of luck and let us know how everything goes. We can't wait to send some pictures on into the DMs, Jeremiah. We want to see the newest member of the Wolf Pack. And perfect time to announce we're gonna have a baby line of clothes coming up in the near future. Our logo designer is on it, so you have something to dress the future Wolf in there too, Denny. But awesome stuff, man. Congratulations. I keep saying Denny, Jeremiah. Congratulations, brother. That's so exciting. We got Justin Mars here.
Mars, Henderson or Freeman standard.
I'm going Freeman.
Yep, Henderson
Devonte
or Freeman standard.
Yeah, there we go. Congrats. Speaking of Denny, congrats there. All righty. Update this.
Jonathan Clark, I need to.
CJ, we're losing you. I think it's because I'm updating my rankings, to be honest. It's probably on my end, but it's just about time for rapid firing anyways. So I'm going to go rapid fire real quick. And then I'll lean into you if I need any that I don't know here. But rapid fire time. Let's get it, Wolfpack. If you want to jump the list, hit that thumbs up button. Otherwise, as I get ready for this rapid fire, please consider hitting that thumbs up button, helping us grow, get out to more people. And prizepicks.com, prizepicks on your Apple Store or Google Play, one of the best apps to come out recently. Use code RSJ for up to $100 match. You deposit 20 or more bucks, we get a great little kickback. It's so appreciated. You consider using code RSJ, Road Street Journal code RSJ on PrizePicks. Get those on in. Now let's get to all of your questions. Just making sure these rankings update here because I don't want to get penalized this week. All right, Jonathan Clark is where we left off. And we got, I can't even see your question here. Hold on. I need to start two. Penny, Gallup, Sony Michel, or Devonta Smith. I'm going Penny, and I do think Gallup scores, but I kind of like Dylan to score too. I'm going Gallup Penny. We're just going gut calls here. What up, Wolves? Good luck, Mitch. Great to see you, brother. Kurt, good flex. Just say contingency. Contingency. You're welcome, Denny. Drink. Full PPR, Freeman, Edmonds, or Penny. Thank you. I like going at Penny here. I feel like Penny's a good feature back there. Stuck between Hurts and Taysom. I'm going Hurts, my man. JT taken to the house. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Chiefs in first place now. Shit. Hopefully they lose. That's the one team that's really terrifying to me. Carter versus Parker. Miami 8 versus Jets. I'm going Parker there, Kurt. That's what I feel. Start 2 in full PPR. Barkley, Jacobs, Henderson. I'm going Bench and Henderson there. Thanks again for your support, Lawrence. Really appreciated it. Who would my flex? Knox, Freeman, Beasley, AJ Green, Freiermuth, or St. Brown. I go Knox, but the safer bet is Freeman, given all the workload he has been seeing lately. But I really like Knox. He's always gets it done for me, so hopefully he can get it done for you too. Juan Pena, wide receiver 1 and 2. Odell, McLaurin, Cooper, Beasley, AJ Green, or St. Brown. I'm going Odell and Cooper, the first 2 guys you nominated there. Should I substitute Freeman for James Conner? Oh, yeah, go James Conner. Absolutely. Oh, no, you say you should put Freeman in over them. No way. You're keeping James Conner, Najee in there. I think Pats will absolutely. I think they got tons of teaching tape, and that's going to help them out, but that was awful. That was the worst they could have played. A couple people answering for him. Joe Ho it is. Let's go, Joe Ho. Jolly time. Congrats. Praying for a healthy delivery. Same as well, Jeremiah. Congrats again. Put 100 on prize picks. I missed when you covered picks. Can I get a couple? I like Patterson. I like Debo, and I like Robinson, all for the touchdown bets. Those are the 3 I locked in. I also love Kyler Murray to run for over 26.5 and for Trevor Lawrence to run for 10.5. Did you have any prize picks, CJ, that you really love?
Gasecki over 4 receptions, MVS over 34.5 receiving yards, Gab Davis over 38.5 receiving yards.
Perfect. All great bets, tunes. Consider those as well. You're welcome, BK. Thank you so much. What a generous super chat. $20. You're a legend. Hey, man, Montgomery or Patterson? I'm going Patterson all day. Huge Patterson fan. Sup, boys? Fatty Mateo, welcome. Kelsey Keenan got you plus 40. Flex on him. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Which D has the safest floor, Buffalo or Miami? I'm going Miami, facing the Jets. Always a safe floor. They're both good options, but give me Miami. They've been much better on defense lately and a better matchup. Connor, Edmonds, or Gaskin? I'm going James Conner, Ben Breer, no doubt about it. Dylan Adams, Jeff Wilson, Carter, DPJ, Chuba. Pittman screwed me. He did screw you. And you're facing, oh, man, terrible start. You need upside. I might even honestly just throw out the DPJ Hail Mary. Hope he catches like 2 bombs from Nick Mullins slinging it. I don't know. Otherwise, Jeff Wilson maybe has 2 touchdowns because I'm benching him. And that's the only time he'll go off if he's on my bench. So consider those guys Dylan. Michael Carter, AJ Dillon is my running back too. I prefer Dylan. There is the narrative that Carter could be their number 1 receiver. That is also very true, CD Aliens. So keep that in mind, but I like Dylan there. I feel like Carter will have a decent game with everyone out. Yeah, it's really true. I might be really underestimating what Carter could do. I just am nervous about first game off the IR. How is he going to look? But yeah, he could kill it. And Ty Johnson being out certainly doesn't hurt. Man, maybe I am talking myself into Carter a little bit more. I think I probably should be. I don't know all this talk about Carter being the lead receiver, CJ. Do you is that swaying you at all? Because it really is true. The more you think about everybody being out, and now Ty Johnson's out too. I don't know. Do you feel any differently, CJ? Oh, you froze on us. The bearded and bald man has frozen. Sad. Okay, man. Gonna change
It
it up
is,
a bit.
but now that I have like
No, yeah, he said now it is, but he's got, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's saying. Miami's defense is the other big concern, though. They could just swallow him up. Got to change it up a bit. Flex PPR, Carter, Wilson, Chuba, DPJ, Robbie. Good Lord, Dylan. Come on. Javonte, Chubb, and Carter right now. Flexing Chubb because of late game. Yeah. I would go that. I would go the guys you have there. Kind of worried about Gibson. I would not play Carter ahead of Gibson. I'm not into Carter, though. I'm not. I haven't had him all year. I've been wrong on him every time I've tried. He's just not a guy that plays for me. So I'm a little bitter. I'll admit it. But I am going to bump him up a little bit. So I'll let you guys know where he lands. Baby Jesus. Happy holidays to the baby Jesus himself. Terry, Rashad Bateman, Russell Gage, Amon St. Brown. Thanks and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Thank you very much, baby Jesus. And I would go Terry here of these options. It seems like Kyle Allen or Heineke, one of the two will be available, in which case there's just a lot of upside there. So give me Terry there. Gibson or Connor. I'm going James Conner. Garrett, very close, though. Running back 10 and 11, literally neck and neck. Hubbard or Mooney. I'm going Mooney there. I feel like he has better upside on Monday Night Football against the team giving up the most points to wide receivers. Anthony DiLorenzo. Connor, Aaron Jones, Ayuk, AJD. Asking your question twice. You knew better than that, DiLorenzo. I'm going Connor and Jones, though. Don't worry. I saved the premium content for Facebook. There you go. Of course, Benny. I love it. Thanks again for your support, Ward. So appreciated. We answered that one for you, Droid. Thinking of calling into work on double time to get hammered for you and your wife. Yeah, seriously. Gives us all a reason, right? Why not? There you go, Dylan. Garrett, need a running back in flex. James Conner, Gibson, and Marquise Brown. I'd play the two running backs there. Do you like Cooks, Ayuk, or Parker? I like Cooks, then Parker, then Ayuk in that exact order, Evan. Montgomery or Amari Cooper for flex, full PPR for Tyler. I'm going Montgomery there. He's been just an every down back. Renfro or Thielen or Osborne or Judy. I'm going Renfro. The best option there by a mile for me, Steven. Fournette against Saints or Penny. I'm going Fournette. Thanks for Hunter Henry. Indeed, what a play. Great pick indeed. I'm in MO. Take some vacation. Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. Come on out, Dylan. That'd be great. Have a beer with us someday. Maybe we can visit you out there too. We'll have a whole tour. Good luck, Pack. Good luck to you, Mike Duty. Thank you so much, brother. Thanks, fellas. Yeah, ignore the dupe message. There you go. At least you caught yourself, Anthony DiLorenzo. Melvin Gordon or Chase Claypool. I'm going to go Melvin Gordon there, even in the full PPR. Claypool could boom huge, but Gordon's just been getting it done so safe. The lead back there, even though I like them both. We got Chris Scroggins, DK or Amari Cooper, PPR. I'm going Amari Cooper. I think it's a sketchy situation having to wait on that game, and who knows what could happen with COVID in that locker room. I would go for the option today, Amari Cooper. Have PPR, Ertz or Pitts. I'm just going to make sure my reflections reflect that. My rankings reflect that, rather. And I did want to bump up Michael Carter. So I bumped DK down to 20. Now that Ramsey's back, a little bit more nervous on that front. And then I'm just bumping up Michael Carter. I am starting to feel better about him. I already had him at 29, but above Sony. But I do like Foreman, probably above Dylan, though. I'm a little bit nervous about Dylan being in a timeshare. So 27 for Michael Carter is where I have him. So above Jeff Wilson, above, some of those shit bums, above Miles Sanders. Jeremy Taylor, Ertz or Pitts. Now that we got Ertz cleared, I think I'm going to lean Ertz there. Good matchup against Detroit. And the defense is not anything special, obviously. So, yeah. Detroit with no Hopkins. I love it. Hold on. I lost my place. There we go. Matthew Douglas, more. Yeah. I don't know what that was. 2. Oh, that's the name. There we go. I was like, what's it start? Is that? That's the name. Congratulations, Matthew Douglas Moore. Very strong name there, Jeremiah. Congratulations again. The Pack sends its blessings to your baby. Good stuff. Good luck, everyone. Thanks, Wolfpack, and hope to see y'all in the Wolf playoffs. Let's continue on that Wolfpack, Kurt. Totally agree. Love it. Javonte or Gibson. I'm going Gibson there. Daniel Howland, Melvin Gordon, or Myles Gaskin. I'm going Myles Gaskin by a hair. Very close, Jeff Connor. But that Jets matchup is so good. Zeke, Henderson, or Gaskin. I'm going Zeke there if you only need one reflex. Rondale Moore, indeed. Ayuk or Mooney. I'm going Ayuk there. I love the Atlanta matchup today. Wolf, you're the man. CJ, your beautiful piece. Hopefully CJ is tuned in to hear your compliments. I'll text him either way, Dylan Adams. Good luck, Wolfpack. Good luck, Denny Jennings. Good luck, everybody. On your way out, please consider giving us that thumbs up. Please consider sharing. And, of course, check out Prize Picks. Prize Picks, use that code RSJ. It's on your Apple store. It's on your Google Play store. Deposit 20 or more, and we get a nice little generous kickback from that awesome corporation. Just a great game. CJ won $100 his first night. Prop bet legend there. And I got some great plays for you, as we said. Touchdown for touchdown for James Robinson, for Cordarrelle Patterson, and for Deebo Samuel. Love those 3 bets. Love 26.5 rushing yards for Kyler Murray, and I love 10.5 rush yards for Trevor Lawrence. Those are my prize picks of the week. Please consider checking that out. And thanks again so much, Wolfpack, for being here. All the super chats. You guys are so generous. So happy holidays. We'll have a different schedule next week. A lot of family, different things popping up for next week. So I'll be sure to tweet out at Rose Street Wolf what our schedule will be. We'll still try to get live at least 4 times before Christmas so we can get all your questions answered, the Wolfpack. All righty, guys. Week 15. Happy holidays. Best of luck. I hope you all crush it. Until next time, Wolfpack.